Good morning, backyard kids. Are you so excited that it's finally summer? I know that I am, and I bet you are too. After all, there's no homework for 2 months, and there are so many fun things to look forward to in the summertime. And there's fun to be had here at Clearbranch too, because all summer we're going to be learning how to make waves. We're going to be learning how that the things that we do today can change the world around us. That's right. Just like waves move a boat on the lake or a surfer in the ocean, we can change the world around us by acting with the fruits of the Spirit like joy, patience, love, and peace. So there are lots of ways that we can make waves in the world with the help of God's Spirit. And the biggest way we can do that is by showing love. Of course, that's nothing new. God has been showing love to the world since the very beginning of time. Remember, in the very beginning, there was nothing but God. But God's heart was overflowing with love, and He showed love the very first time by creating the entire world. First, He made light, then the rolling waters, then the sky, plants, fish, and birds. He made creeping and racing and climbing animals, and then He reached down into the dirt and shaped something brand new, a person, and He named that first person Adam. And then after that, after He had made the first man, He made the first woman, and her name was Eve. Now, God had made a perfect world, and they had a perfect friendship, but God also gave these people something called free will. He gave them that ability to choose what was right, or to choose to do what they knew was right, or to choose to do what they thought could be wrong. And unfortunately, Adam and Eve chose wrong, and because of that, they had to live with the consequences of those choices. They chose to break the one law that God had made to keep them safe. So this shattered their perfect friendship with God, and then sin and brokenness opened into the world. Family members turned against one another, and then fear, anger, and pain crept in as time went by. But God didn't turn away. His love was greater than all of this. God already had a plan that He could make things right again, and He got to work and started with a man named Abraham. He told Abraham that He would make him into a great nation, make him a blessing to others, and told him that He would bless all nations because of him. So Abraham and his wife followed God, and they trusted in Him, and they followed God into the unknown. Then at long last, God gave them a miracle, their very first baby. Now this baby's name was Isaac, and eventually he grew up and had a child of his own named Jacob. Jacob then had 12 sons who started families of their own, and God grew those 12 families into an entire nation. These people became known as the Israelites. Now they sometimes followed God, but oftentimes they turned away. But still, because He's God, He continued to show love. God sent other leaders like Moses, who led the Israelites out of slavery. He sent kings who guided and protected the people like David. And then He made waves in the lives of women like Ruth. Over and over, God's people promised to obey, but over and over, they turned away. At last, God allowed them to be taken into captivity, but even there, God never left them. God sent heroes like Esther to help when the Israelites were in trouble. He sent prophets like Zechariah to speak words of truth, and these prophets gave hints of a rescuer who would save God's people once and for all. Then, for hundreds of years, no word from God was recorded. It seemed that God's love was silent. But at exactly the right moment in time, God sent Jesus. God's very own Son came to earth as a baby, born to an ordinary young woman in an ordinary town, and angels declared the good news. Jesus showed the world what God's love looked like. He showed what it truly means to love God and to love others. And then Jesus gave up His own life for the sake of His friends. He took all of our brokenness on Himself, and He died. He was buried, and the stone was rolled into place. That seemed like it would be the end of the story, but God's love can never be stopped. And on the third day, God raised Jesus back to life. In Jesus, every wrong was made right. Everything that's broken is made whole. Jesus made a way for us to have a relationship with God that will last forever. And that should change the way that we live and the way that we treat others every day. With the help of God's Spirit, guys, we can show God's love to the people that He's put in our lives. And by doing that, we can make waves of love that will fill up the world around us. And that's our bottom line for this week. Love others because God loves you.